Dialogue 9 Guidelines for the student. You are going to listen to a mock speaking exam being carried out by an examiner and two students. You will listen to the text. There are questions to answer whilst listening. You have a concise vocabulary list to help you with each text. The words that are explained are underlined in the text. Dialogue 1, Mock Speaking Part 1.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to parts 3 and 4 of the exam. For part 3, I'm going to give you a set of pictures which I want you to discuss together and work together to come up with answers to the two questions I will ask you. So here are the photographs. There are different buildings and places in London. I want you to discuss which places would be best to visit on a school trip. Then I want you to decide which two places would be best.
Okay, so here we can see Buckingham Palace. I think this would be a good place for a school trip because I guess it's one of the biggest tourist attractions, so that would be good for school pupils to see.
Yes, I agree. Same goes for Big Ben, which must attract a lot of tourists too. And then we have the London Eye, which might be good, but I've heard that it is pretty expensive too, so I don't know if it would be affordable for school pupils.
Yes, maybe it would cost too much. Whereas, they could go to look at the Tower Bridge, which is also pictured here, and this would be free of charge. In the foreground of that picture, we can see the River Thames, and this area in general seems to capture the essence of London, so would be great for the students to look at. Do you agree?
Yes, definitely. It would be a great idea to just stand overlooking the river and the bridge to take in all the beautiful surroundings of London. As for the other three pictures that we have here, one of them looks like a museum. Perhaps it is the Natural History Museum. That would be an excellent choice for a school trip because it is important that they learn things, as I'm sure the purpose of the trip is to be informative as well as fun.
I agree. I think you're right about it being the Natural History Museum. This would be an excellent place to visit to have the opportunity to learn more about the history of England. I think the other building that we can see here is the National Gallery. This would also be a great place to visit because I think art is such an important part of a country's culture. I would suggest going here to see the different pieces of art that this gallery has to offer. Absolutely, art would be another good thing for the children to learn about. And finally, we can see Hyde Park. I also think this would be a great place to visit because the pupils could walk around in the fresh air. What do you think?
You're right. That way, they could get a break from the busy atmosphere of the city.
Thank you. And what two attractions would be the best to visit?
If I had to choose two, I would pick the Natural History Museum so the students could learn and improve their knowledge. What do you think for the second choice?
Maybe Buckingham Palace because I feel it is an absolute must-see when you go to that city.
Great. Okay, so now we're going to move on to part 4 and have a discussion about some of the topics brought up in part 3. So, Laura, do you like to visit very touristic cities?
I do, yes. Don't get me wrong, I also love to sunbathe by a hotel pool. However, I think city breaks are great because you get to visit amazing monuments and attractions at the same time as experiencing new cultures and learning things.
Great. What about you, Kelly?
I'm not that keen on overly touristic cities, to be honest.
Okay, and why is that?
I'd rather go to undiscovered places because that way, it is less expensive and then it is even easier to fully immerse yourself in a different culture.
Okay, and do you think tourism is always good for a country?
Well, it is good in the way that it attracts people and therefore gains more money for the country's economy.
Okay, and Laura, do you think there are only good things about tourism, or does it have negative aspects too?
In general, I think tourism is good for a country. However, I suppose you could argue that tourism takes away the identity of a place. For example, just down the coast we have Benidorm. This town has no identity at all now because it has been taken over by tourists.
Would you both say that Valencia is a good place for tourists to visit?
I agree. Although it's probably not the top choice in Spain for tourists, I think, as a city, it has a lot to offer in terms of things to do and places to see.
Okay, thank you. That is the end of the test.